Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. Life probably would be a lot better for all of us if we were lasered in on a goal, if we defined it, whatever it is, even something you got to get done before 5 p.m. today at work, and moved the distractions out of your way, truly focused on what you're trying to achieve. We're going to talk about the power of focus. How do you do that? How do you put your attention into one area? More than ever, we are so unfocused because of technology. And I look back at, 100 years, not to sound old, but sometimes I look back at, pictures and things and think, wow, simpler way of life. They didn't have all this stuff going on. Sitting on a porch, looking at traffic, you could focus on certain things and maybe achieve your goal. She's somebody that helps people do that all the time. She's our professional of the year and many different programs to harness the power of tapping into your inner self. And she is MaryElizabeth. We call her ME, and she is back with you and me. Welcome back. How are you doing today?
I am just fabulous. Excited to be here.
Likewise.
Focus is a good thing.
Focus, focus, focus. Why can't we focus? Is it just because in today's world there's just too many distractions?
Well, in reality, we do focus. We're just choosing where we place that focus.
Fair enough.
So if we're choosing to place it on the distraction, then that will take our energy and the universe will respond equally. Because really, in truth, where you focus multiplies. So if you are focused on your phone and scrolling through, guess what? You're going to start to do it more and more and more and more because the universe is going to bring you, which is what algorithms do. If you think about it, the algorithm of the universe is the same way. What you are focusing on suddenly starts showing up more and more in your social media feeds, but it's the same in life. Where you are focusing and how you are focusing is what shows up. So that is the power of focus, because where you place your focus multiplies. So if you place your focus in the space of manipulation and lies, guess what? That's all you're going to see. That's all you're going to hear. And it's going to start to confuse you as to what is truth and what is not a reality. You'll mix the two. But as you said, focusing on a goal is an amazing thing. You spoke last week of your vision board, by the way. Congratulations. And the vision you see, when you focus on that daily, even if it's just for a moment or two, the universe is going, oh, there it is again. What can we do to bring it through? How can we help lead that direction too?
Is this all part of the energy flows where the attention goes?
Exactly. The energy flows where the attention goes, where you focus multiplies. Energy of focus is your true power. So if you want to change your life, change your focus.
Thank you for your thoughts on the vision board. And it's been very impactful so far. However, I put everything on one board. And I feel that I can't properly focus on it. I feel like I look at one section, then I got the other. The squirrel effect. The squirrel looks one way, then the other way, then the other way. I'm feeling that I need to break it down into 3 separate boards. Say relationship, say professional, say life in general. I'm having trouble focusing on this one because I put it all into one. But in just doing that, it has shown me how powerful it can be and how I am just drawn into it like a magnet. It's amazing.
You're drawn to the energy. But let us say something to you, because first of all, if you put it all on one board, you only have one place to look. And you may think that you're doing the squirrel effect, but in that moment, that is where your attention is drawn. In that moment, that is where you are meant to be energetically. So if you have all categories on your vision board, you may think you're only seeing one thing at a time, but the mind is an amazing tool. It doesn't focus as we do. It focuses on everything. If you ever think about someone who has, you see it on TV shows, someone who had been a witness to something and they're only focused on one thing, and they put them in a state of hypnotherapy, and suddenly they remember all the details, because that is what your mind does. Its focus is more powerful than yours. Do you see?
That's a scary thought. An exciting one, but scary at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Which is why when we say where you focus, you have to be mindful of where you are focusing. Your vision board is all positive. Is that not true?
Absolutely. I feel it is.
So when you are looking at that, even though you're looking here and there and the squirrel effect is coming through, that's not a bad thing, because the energy that it brings makes your heart sing. You
100%.
feel good. Is that not true when you're looking at it?
Yes, to a major degree. The only thing I feel is maybe because of the way I laid out the board, my eyes go to one section. And I divided them up. This is one goal. This is another, all on one page. And I find that just because of where it is, I'm looking, and it's not a bad thing, but I'm always looking in one spot. And then I start circling around with my eye of everything else. I feel like one area is getting more attention just because of where it's located. Is it a bad thing? What are your thoughts?
That's not a bad thing.
Okay.
Let us explain why. You are automatically drawn to that which you want the most, even if you may not realize it.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't want to admit that. Yeah.
Do you understand? We know
totally.
what section you're talking about. We're not going to say, but what you want the most is where you are automatically drawn.
So now let's go deeper. I feel I want that the most, but is that really what I really want the most, and or what the universe feels I should have the most?
No, it's your attention that is being drawn there.
Okay.
It's your attention that is being drawn there. The universe wants you to have everything on that vision board.
Okay.
You are created to be abundant in all areas of your life, not just career, not just finances, not just relationships, all areas. You are automatically drawn to the area that, how should we say, feels lacking, most lacking.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, crystal clear. Crystal clear.
We don't mean to call you out here.
No, not at all. Not at all. But I really thought it was more of where it was placed on the page where the eye goes. And it's not, it's not the center of the page, as a matter of fact. It's the lower half. And it was just a random, I started here. Let me add more here. Let me add more here. Okay, done. So your suggestion is to leave it be. Don't create 3 separate ones. Leave it all on one page.
You only need one, because everything you want is in front of you. And here's the interesting thing, where you are focusing, and you're very aware that you focused there initially. Is that not true? So in the space where you say, that's where my mind is drawn, that's where my eyes automatically go, the power of focus. So next time you look at it, go, I'm going to look up to the right, to the left upper corner. But here's the thing, everything that you're not focusing on so intently, your mind sees. The universe has collected the energy, and you are having a reaction to it, even if you are not aware. And it's a positive reaction because it's all things you want, but you're not as invested in the outcome as you are where you're automatically drawn.
I'm going to share something, and this is going to be a little wonky, but the power of this. So I'll try and explain this very briefly. I'm single. I had done some podcasts with somebody who's very nice, and 1,000 miles away plus, whatever. The person reminded me of somebody I knew back in the day. and has no connection to them. Just, you remind me of the person. But my mind always went here where this person's just a nice person. Just get a nice vibe from them. And I would always think that. I would just always think that. Lo and behold, I run into somebody that in real life, here looks exactly like them. Now, I'm not interested or anything like that, but it happened twice. I was in a relationship and there were some good things there. I manifested this person. This is a separate topic here. Manifest, but there were some things that I didn't manifest, emotional availability, etc. But just even looks and things like that. Last week I met somebody that looks just like that person. And it's not a good fit, and I get it. And but I just look at it, the signs of the universe, the attention and the energy flow. How that's what I was thinking. It showed up. Does it make sense?
Yes, it absolutely makes sense. And you just to clarify, you said manifestation is a separate topic. That is not true.
Well, okay. I meant
Power
those
of
two.
Focus is what you manifest.
Those two situations were separate. I was only separating those two situations. Yeah, the
I
rest.
just want to clarify that
because
that's an important part to hear. Where you focus multiplies. The power of focus is what you manifest. As you speak about that situation, there can be two factors at play.
Mm-hmm.
The first would be that there's an old energy that needs to be released from that relationship.
Or a relationship.
The one where you keep seeing the person who reminds you of that previous relationship.
I don't doubt that, but I think in my situation, it's more of I thought about it, or this person, in the first example I gave, and this is in the last couple of weeks, how this person seems like such a nice person, insightful, intuitive, and they remind me of somebody else. And I just put attention there. It's not like I'm interested. It's just the attention went there.
Right.
And sure enough, somebody showed up that I met that looks just like them. The weirdest thing. Like, it's almost like the same person. And I don't say anything. It's like, oh, wow. In my mind, I'm like.
Because you were focused that space of energy. You were focused that space of energy. So you brought that person through in a different physicality that looked the same to you.
Yes. Yeah.
But there's also in that energy, is this the relationship you had spoken of previously that everything fell into place except the emotional connection or maturity?
Different situation. That was the second example. Okay. And that relationship, there was something missing, but I did manifest it a number of years ago and everything was there, except I didn't manifest in detail. And then recently I met somebody at a party who looks just like him. Now I'm not interested. It's just, it's not, for me, not right fit. This person, all good, very nice. Looks and reminds me of that person. Even said to my friends, does that look like, is it me? No, actually it does look like. But point here is the overall point, the attention. You'll get what you think. The attention. It's like, your parents used to say, be careful what you ask for. Yeah. Because it's going to show up.
But it truly is where you are focusing, where you are putting your attention multiplies. So we say to Emmy almost every day, don't go on the news stream because you're just creating more of that energy of anxiety that it causes you. So don't look, because here's the amazing thing. No matter what is happening in the world around you, your focus creates your reality. And how you focus, which we mean how you feel in that focus, creates the space of energy. Sorry, puppies.
I wish mine was here. He's not.
Yeah.
He's at home peeing on the floor.
Yeah, there's three.
All good.
But the where you are focusing the energy. So if you are focusing and it's on something that causes you anxiety or something that causes you worry, then you need to say, wait, this is not my reality. This is not the life I was born to lead. There is a lot going on in the world. An
Yep.
enemy is very focused on others being in their humanity, being kind to others and standing in their integrity. So that's where we tell her to focus on the people who are kind and the people who do stand in integrity. And then funny, what happens? Suddenly what's coming across her social media are different stories. Do you see?
I do. And I have a question based on everything that we're focusing on
Yeah.
in terms of what's happening now. Stock market, there's some concern there of what's happening. If somebody looks at that and says, "Oh my gosh, I'm losing money. What's going on here? I'm going to lose more tomorrow and more the next day and more the next day." It's understandable why somebody might be doing that at this point in time. But are they doing themselves a disjustice in terms of manifestation and focus by dwelling on that, as opposed to you can't control it, let it go?
Exactly. Because yes, they are doing themselves a disservice because they're focusing on the lack. So guess what's going to happen? There's going to be more lack. You can't control what is happening that is causing a negative effect on the markets here. But if you think about the markets, they go up and down anyway. And the money that they are losing is not actual physical money. Do you understand? It's a paper trail.
Interesting. Okay.
So it comes back, it's cyclic. Everything is cyclic. But if you're focusing on the fact that every day it's getting lower and lower and lower, it's going to continue to get lower and lower and lower. But here's the interesting thing. You're suddenly going to get a big bill that you weren't expecting.
Which means
you are focusing in lack, so you're going to get more lack.
that's exactly where I was going with all this. Yeah. Yeah. And personally, I don't look, I haven't even logged in off to the side. I can't do anything about it. Yeah. I mean, if you want to, you can, call your investor and say, hey, make changes, whatever it might be. But that's the nature of investment, where it is going to be a roller coaster, and we're on one right now, and leave it be. I do have friends that are freaking out. That's all I do. That's all I do is just look at it and just dwell on it. I'm like, where are you at? What's it going to do for you? It's just going to make it negative. You're going to be sitting in this negative space looking for the next, problem to pop up or the next drop. So I thank you for clarifying that and making that very clear.
Yes, because it truly is that energy, the power of focus. If you are focusing in lack, the universe is going to bring you lack.
Yeah.
Because, they like lack. They like lack. So instead, when you look at the stock market, instead of looking at the current circumstance, they know what it feels like when they've had a huge gain. They all do. They've all experienced a huge gain in the excitement of that energy. Mm-hmm. So instead, when they think of the stock market, they need to go back into that memory and go, my portfolio is increasing daily, and feel that energy. Don't look at the current circumstance. It's just old energy manifesting here. If you want it to continue, go ahead, focus there. But the majority want to be in that space of joy. And that is what you are here to do. That is the space you're meant to live in too.
It's the same thing when we talk about coming from a place of lack, where somebody may say, I can't afford a new car. That's not going to happen now. I don't know how I'd even do that. I said that my car is breaking down. I need to get to work. You're coming from that place of lack. And I don't know if I shared this with you. I have an old Jeep, and I use it just for fun. I use it kayaking. That's my Zen spot, or just hauling something, whatever. The point here is the energy. When it used to break down, I would say, you piece of junk. Yeah, again, you're breaking down again. Like, I got to replace this belt. I got to do this. It would just keep breaking down. Now, flipped it around. Now I'm like, I really appreciate you. Oh, thank you. Oh, we had a great trip today. Oh, there was so had no issues with it. Just a teeny tiny one. And it'll take me 15 minutes and $15 to fix. and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like a different vehicle.
Yeah. And it's your energy shifted because
Yes.
guess what? It's alive too. It has a life, it has a life force. People may look at it as an inanimate, well, not inanimate, it moves when you turn it on, but may look at it as
Right. It's not
a
human.
separate energy. But it's literally, it's like talking to a plant and the impact you have on how you talk to the plant. It's the same thing. But here's the miracle for you. You're in the space of gratitude. In gratitude, you change all things. So to even be in the space that some people are facing in the stock market here, just be grateful for what is happening because it gave you clarity on the sense of security is only what you allow it to be, because there's still security in the stock market. Sure. Eventually, not for some time, but eventually.
That's where you come from, a place of positivity where it's going to turn around. We all do. Look at history. And even I'm financially illiterate, right? By the way, I'm not, but if you look back even the last 5 years, you're going to see this. There's a lot of positivity there. Right now, we dip down, but why ride in that?
Just prior to this year was at the highest level of financial abundance. So again, it's cyclic, and that's okay. Don't go into the panic space.
Right.
Allow yourself to see that this is a circumstance, not my reality. Your reality is that inner voice, that inner conversation that you have with yourself each and every day, no matter what you are facing. As you spoke of, you used to have an issue with your Jeep and you would get mad at it. But that was your reaction to many things that didn't go your way. You have shifted that reality. Does that make sense?
It truly does. And it took some time to change my focus. But I didn't realize until you just said it, the gratitude I gave the Jeep.
Yeah.
I thought I was just shifting energy, which I was. But in doing so, I was also giving it gratitude, which is so important, right?
Yeah. We should always acknowledge, even if it's, as Emmy said, with the idea of when you speak to a plant. Emmy loves to be in the sun, and it's been nice here. So she was sitting in the sun and was looking at the space that the birds like to play, and she was talking to them. Well, they all started to sing and were just having a very happy day because the shift in the energy, which then in turn brought more birds through, and then the hummingbirds came, and she was just like, oh, I am so grateful. Because when you put yourself into that space of energy, you are creating an abundant flow for yourself.
Yeah.
That's why we say be grateful every day. People do gratitude journals for a reason. But here's the amazing thing. You don't need to journal. You just have to remember to say thank you in the moment for whatever it is you're facing. Whether you're on your own or whether you're out in a group, just be thankful for the moment.
And look for the ways to do that. Every email I send, a lot of times even a text, I don't do it unless it applies, but I'll respond to an email and say thank you. There's always something to say thank you for. Genuinely say thank you, i.e. gratitude. Wonderful conversation today. How do we find you, Emmy?
You can go to my website at IamMaryElizabeth.me, or you can text me at 661-524-4544. And I'm here to help you find that power, that passion, and that purpose.
Love your clarity. That is your superpower. You take all of this, which some can see as being very woo-woo and just, and making it, oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. As you made sense of my vision board. I'm gonna leave it be for now.
And remember, next time you look at it, you're drawn to one space, and go, okay, now I'm going to look up there. That's all you got to do. It's okay to be drawn to the one space. But when you look at that one space, we want you to say, I am enjoying the relationship I am in.
Amen. And I enjoy the relationship with you. Looking forward next time we get together.
Absolutely. Have a great week.
You too. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.